The debuting of an act usually takes up to years of planning and a whooping amount of investment, but surprisingly enough, entertainment agencies could easily dungeon their old group to focus on new ones. What's even more surprising is that even when the dungeoned acts are still doing well profit-wise, and some have just debuted for a short while, they're still heartlessly pushed back just because the management board thinks more money will flow into their pocket by introducing something new. Number 1. SM Entertainment dungeoning aespa and Red Velvet to debut a new girl group. When SM Entertainment announced that they were debuting a new 8-member girl group, the company quickly posted the silhouettes of these trainees a short while after that, consolidating the rumor about a new act becoming introduced to spice up the oversaturated K-pop game. The company seemingly has laid a huge bet on this new act, as they will debut up to 8 trainees, synonymous with a crazy amount of investment. Plus, considering how it's rarely the company's habit to debut such a crowded girl group, as in the company's history, 3 out of 4 girl groups had fewer than 5 members. This also shows their confidence in the act's potential. Fast forward to 2023, netizens were even closer to knowing what to expect from the company's newest girl group, as in March 14, the same Instagram account posted that the group was going to be taking part in a showcase for all the trainees, and here, when netizens increased the exposure of the image, parts of the girls' identity were revealed. While many people are super excited about this news, as they expect SM will do something to prove their position as one of the top management agencies that have brought the K-pop industry to where it is today, especially in the oversaturated scene of K-pop, where girl groups from small to medium companies could still take over the chart with good music. Many SM stans, especially fans of Red Velvet and aespa, are extremely upset and annoyed by how the company has literally been dungeoning these acts, while already moved on to debuting another. First, talking about aespa's fans' minds, most said that they were triggered by this move, as aespa, who hasn't even been in the industry for 3 years and is still relatively new to Gen 4 K-pop scene, was already turned into a senior group under SM and got the investment split for a younger act already. That was not to mention how aespa has already gradually been pushed to the basement, as ever since their debut in November 2020, the act had just had 3 comebacks. The investment in each comeback is also said to ironically show a backward revolution, as if the problem didn't lie at the title track, then there would still be concerns with the MV, the visual, the complementary promotional factors, and the performing schedule at weekly music shows. According to netizens, aespa's title track quality is going downhill, and the most easily seen evidence is how their latest song, Girls, was believed to not only be a flop but also the floppiest song of the group. Even the lyrics of the song irked people off, as many found it too cringy and goofy, and had SM let them promote with a more mature and sensible track like Illusion, things could have been way better for the girls. The company also failed hard at promoting aespa on streaming platforms like YouTube and Spotify, and as noticed by one netizen, Girls could only have 1.3 million likes after a week, while Savage managed to have a similar amount of support within 24 hours only. Even such important teasers for aespa's very first concerts were still done in the most questionable and ridiculous ways. After seeing the members' individual videos, people found it both sad and funny how SM had announced literally the most ambitious concept for aespa, just to end up executing the plan with the technologies of the 2000s. Even the members' top-notch visual couldn't save the embarrassing preparation of SM under Karena's teaser. Some joke that they were really eager to try the weed smoked by the company's film editor during the editing process, as there was no way they, professionals hired by one of the most influential agencies of K-pop, could create such kindergarten-quality products. Specifically, for Giselle's teaser, fans even joked that SM must have let her edit the whole video herself, because it looked so funny and crappy. Winter was even worse, as the stylist not only chose the most questionable hairstyle ever, but also put on the cheapest looking outfits on earth. Besides crappy promotional execution for aespa, scantily little fan content to keep the act relevant post-comeback is also said to be another sign of the acts being dungeoned by their own company. Compared to the way SM kept the public on their toes about the upcoming girl group with calculated teasers, many were upset to see aespa being pushed back too fast by SM after the not-so-positive reactions of the public toward the act. Besides Mize, Red Velvet's fans, or Red Veluvs, were also triggered by news about SM's debuting a new girl group, as many believe their idols were being neglected and mismanaged. The group's promotional schedule was so scanty that more and more fans have started to buy into the rumors that the girls would soon be disbanded, especially under the questionable financial situation of SM recently. Plus, as the act has been active for about 8 years, generating less profit for the company compared to other groups, gradually losing their heat on all fronts, and also seemingly losing the key factor making up the name of Red Velvet, Irene's iconic beauty, as she has shown clear signs of aging. Many Red Veluvs believe that the group would be dungeoned even worse when SM debuted their upcoming act. Number 2. JYP Entertainment dungeoning Twice and ITZY to focus on NMIXX. While seeing NMIXX bring something refreshing to the table, though it might be questionable and confusing to a certain extent, excites the public, fans of Twice and ITZY aren't happy with this move at all, as in exchange for such a whooping investment into NMIXX, Twice and ITZY are being neglected severely. Especially considering how Twice, aka the group generating so much money for JYP Entertainment, that they could afford moving into a flamboyant building and debut more groups with budget-exhaustive concepts. The way JYP has been treating Twice is nothing but a blatant insult to them. Most recently, some have noticed JYP even let Twice reuse old stage costumes of Moonlight Sunrise onto the red carpet of 2023 Billboard Women in Music. While this occasion should have been a special day where Twice's members were invested to look at their finest, especially in the scenario where the group has been trying to increase coverage in the West, it only turned out to be a downgrading moment in the girls' red carpet's appearances. Later, fans found out that Twice was even made to wear the same set of outfits when taking concept photos for Moonlight Sunrise. And the more they looked into the way JYP took care of their best-selling girl group, the more annoyed they became, as the agency was so ungrateful. Besides the visuals, the song quality, choreography production, lyrics, and even the concept graphics were also said to be boring, and one netizen said that the whole promotion was so bad that she had to Google Twice is terrible to see if others felt the same. According to this person, JYP should have picked another title track for the girls' comeback because Moonlight Sunrise was nothing but a track to torture prisoners of war. Everything about Twice's live performances was also believed to be underwhelming, as the dance moves were just them walking around, which was ironically out of place with such a suggestive song. The lyrics were borderline retarded, and most importantly, the extremely sudden shift of Twice's concept from Candy Sweet to songs about sex and drinking was too abrupt to handle, especially for fans who have been supporting Twice for their core bubbly image. Talking beyond the promotion of Moonlight Sunrise, fans said this wasn't the first time Twice was questionably dressed by the company, as in one dance practice video, Sana was seen wearing the same pink top previously worn by Chaeryeong, raising the suspicion that the stylists had made Sana reuse the outfit of her junior. What if they were simply having a wardrobe clash? Some may think like that. However, according to fans, there were legit reasons for them to believe so, and considering how the furry pink dress Sana wore in Twice's 2021 promotion was literally the same one Chaeryeong had worn during ITZY's earlier Loco promotion, it's more likely that JYP was simply dungeoning Twice because they had newer acts to focus on. In fact, not only the outfits of Sana, but Twice's in general have made fans raise eyebrows countless times, since throughout the girls' career, their image has been attached to costumes made out of non-glossy fabric, a material said to be rather cheap, outdated, and often downgrade the value of wearers. Number 3. Hybe disbanded GFriend to debut Le Sserafim. Being one of the most contentious girl groups of K-pop right after debut, there are various reasons for people to constantly check up on Le Sserafim, but do you know that even before the bullying scandal of Kim Garam broke out, what drew the act so much public attention? It was the fact that Le Sserafim was introduced as the first girl group of Hybe, and how this company completely ignored and eventually unilaterally disbanded GFriend, the act that brought source music from a company on the verge of bankruptcy to become a name promising enough for Hybe to acquire and invest further. While no insiders have confirmed this cruel move of Hybe, GFriend's members have several times implicitly addressed the concern, saying things like they had no idea Mago would be the very last promotion, and everyone still found it hard to accept that they were no longer a group. The way Source Music handled Kim Gadam's scandal with dignity also triggered GFriend's fans, buddies, as while Kim Gadam was constantly shielded by the company, all that GFriend had ever gotten for their abrupt disbandment was a brief announcement on social media. According to many buddies, the unfair mistreatment toward GFriend was also seen through Source Music never defending the girls' issues in such a fast and tactful manner like what they did in Kim Gadam's scandal. And it was utterly ridiculous that the women who built you from the ground up did not get the bare minimum protection from you for 6 years, said a buddy when reacting to Source Music's management. Even until now, people still couldn't wrap their heads around GFriend's disbandment, since not only the group was still making lots of profits, but their shift toward a more mature image was also widely embraced by the public, which was rather rare in K-pop, as you can already see Twice immediately lost the heat when switching up images. Still, it was possible that things happened just because Hybe has been using all their resources to focus on the Western market. But as both the old and new concepts of GFriend weren't widely favored there, they decided to get rid of the group. So, do you think these acts are actually dungeoned by the company? Or it's just a natural elimination process of K-pop where the new come to replace the old? Comment down below to share your thoughts with us. Also, remember to like, share, and subscribe to BeBoss TV for more interesting K-pop content. Thank you for watching!